Alright, so for the past 4 months, I've been trying to learn Spanish. However, due to a lack of time, and I hate to admit it, but a lack of motivation, I've not been progressing as quickly as I would like to with my Spanish journey. So ultimately, I decided to sign up for the Lingoda Sprint for the month of November for my first time taking Spanish classes, and also because I am a university student with little money to put into my Spanish journey, I decided to do the regular sprint, which is 15 classes. I am super nervous for this because my speaking skills in Spanish are slim to nothing. I am one of those learners that studies mostly in a book, and speaking is its own challenge because I know a lot of it, but to formulate sentences is a struggle. So I'm really looking forward to being able to see how I progress through the month of taking classes and to build up my confidence ultimately and just formulate sentences. So when I do travel to Mexico, I'll be able to speak with more confidence and actually not chicken out for asking for basic things like, can I get the menu or can I get the bill? I want to be able to order my own food and to ask for directions on the street, but currently I don't have that confidence. So that is what I'm looking forward to learning, and I wanted to share my progression to see how effective it is taking online Spanish classes. I don't consider myself to be A2 yet because of my lack of speaking ability, and I just need to learn more verbs and vocabulary before I can consider myself to be A2, but I am very close to reaching that, which I'm looking forward to getting closer to. The class I have booked for tonight is on my future plan, so it is a communication lesson.
Excelente, muy bien. Y por último, Justin.
Por último, imprimes las etiquetas y llevas el paquete a la oficina de correos.
Muy fácil, ¿cierto?
4. Justin.
Observar obras de arte. Está la galería de arte.
¿Y por qué aprendes español?
Me gusta viajar.
Ok. ¿Y eres de Canadá? ¿Y qué idiomas sabes?
Hablo inglés y un poco francés.
¿Puedes leerlos, por favor?
Puedo preguntar cómo llegar a un lugar.
Ahora aquí tenemos una conversación entre el turista.
Disculpe, busco una farmacia. ¿Sabes dónde hay una farmacia cerca? Sí, está a unos 5 minutos a pie.
Bien.
This was a very humbling lesson. There were 2 people in my class, including me, and the topic was in a taxi, and I really struggled during this class, and it crossed my mind to just leave because I was like really bad at this, but you know, I think it's just like an example of why I need to keep studying, because I really want to be able to use this when I'm in the situation of being in a taxi or Uber or something along those lines. And yeah, it kind of motivates me to keep studying harder because I had a difficult time trying to figure out this lesson, and the teacher was really nice though. He did help me along the way, even though I was definitely the worst one in the class. But you know, it's a tip for you to just study harder, and you got this. It's been a minute since I finished the sprint, but I am happy to report that I did actually finish the sprint, and I had the option to either get 50% cash back or I could get 15 more classes, and I decided to take more classes because I want to really maximize this language learning as much as I possibly can. So the rules. Let's talk about the rules that I needed to follow in order to complete the sprint. The first rule is that you could only take 1 class per day. You could not take more than 4 classes per week. You could not miss a class, and there are no cancellations within 7 days of the class. This definitely set up some barriers because you want to plan precisely which classes and what time that you'll be available to do these classes, because if you miss a class, then you're disqualified from the sprint. And obviously I wanted to pass the sprint, and I'm sure if you're watching this video, you're also wanting to pass the sprint because freak classes or cashback is amazing. The fact that I passed means that you can pass too, because I had no idea what to expect before going into this sprint, and as long as you follow the rules, you can pass too, which is super exciting to think about. Let's talk about my likes and dislikes. My likes about the sprint: I enjoyed the fact that Lingoda has a variety of different class topics you could choose from. I thought that that was fun because there were a few areas that I was really looking forward to learning about. I wanted to learn about directions, order food, ask for things. And I would say that I took lessons on all of those different topics, and I do feel a bit more confident now in speaking about those sort of things. I definitely am not good at speaking in Spanish yet. There's definitely some more improvement I need to make, especially since I have a French accent when I speak in Spanish. It's hard to like get the proper pronunciation, but of course that will come with more time. I also enjoyed the fact that you're able to look at these slides before the class. This really helped me prepare because I like to ensure that I knew exactly what the lesson was going to cover. I would go in and translate any words that I did not know, and I would also sort of answer some of the questions that I knew I would be asked throughout the lesson. On the last few pages of the document, there is a page that covers like the whole like review, like the main words and phrases, and I made sure to print that out as well before each class, and I definitely wrote some notes on it and referred to it throughout the lesson, which was super helpful. Another thing that I did like was the fact that you're able to move between different language levels. I did mainly stick to A1.2, but I did go to A1.1. I did a few lessons in there, and I also did a few A2 levels as well. Near the end of my sprint, I had a teacher say that she thought that I should be moving up into the A2 category, which was reassuring to hear because I could see the progress that I was making, and then also like getting that reassurance from like a native Spanish speaker was really cool. What I disliked about the Lingoda Sprint was the fact that it was difficult to complete all 3 lessons and the chapter review in each chapter. Each chapter consisted of a vocabulary, grammar, and communication lesson followed by the review at the end, so there were 4 lessons per chapter, and I'm pretty sure with the way it worked out I only ended up completing 1 full chapter, which was alright, but I think it would have been nice to be able to do more, but because of the few classes offered and that like the time that I needed, I wasn't able to finish too many of the chapters, which I ended up covering more topics because I didn't just stick within that like one subject area. Another dislike that I didn't like was the fact that you couldn't change your class within 7 days. This kind of made it hard because I had to like really plan to make sure that I'd be able to do the class on the day I selected. I'm not really sure if this is like a dislike or a like, is the fact that the teachers are all from different Spanish speaking countries. So I had teachers from Spain, Mexico, I think there was like Peru and like some other countries as well, which for me, I am trying to focus more on like Latin American, like Spanish from Mexico, and because it was hard to find a teacher from there, I had to like take different teachers from other countries, so they all had a bit of their own accent, but I also kind of enjoyed getting to like listen to these different accents and how they spoke, which was really fascinating. I especially like the Spain accent. I think this is so cool. Something else that I noticed was that sometimes in the classes, not everyone would show up. Do I recommend the sprint? I would say hands down, yes, I do. I think it's a great way to have like a support system basically, because if you want your money back or more classes, you have to like follow it and you can't miss a class if you're like too nervous or however you end up feeling before a language class. So it really kept me like a strict routine, which was good for me. I do think that the sprint really made me get outside of my comfort zone with my Spanish learning, because before the sprint I was really nervous at like wanting to like speak. I wasn't sure, but you just really gotta kind of like get outside of your comfort zone with the classes and just kind of take the feedback. You're learning a language, it's not going to be easy and you're going to make mistakes. You're going to have your highs and your lows, but you just gotta like get through that to like be able to get to a point in your language learning journey where you're gonna actually speak confidently. If you made it this far into the video, thank you for watching, and I hope that this inspired you to try some language classes yourself. See you next time!